Hi, I'm Jamie from Jamie and Tarot. Welcome back to our journey through the Major Arcana. This week's card is the Hierophant. He's card number 5. And he tends to get a bad rap because he's very religious, is a very religious card. There's a lot of religious references within the card, including the crosses that signify the Holy Trinity. He also has this staff in his hand, which is very representative of the Pope. It may even be the same staff that the Pope wears. And of course, his crown, the three-tiered crown, also referencing the Holy Trinity. He also has this red gown on, which, as we've seen in the other cards, is the life force, representing blood. Another thing to note in this, which is in a lot of the cards that we'll see, are these keys that are right here. And these keys represent authority, power, and access to knowledge or higher wisdom. And you'll see in this card, and it represented in some of the cards that I'm going to show you today, these two in this card, men that are at the bottom, perhaps monks, and those represent his followers. And also the pillars represent an institution. So it is a heavy reference to the church. Though the traditional meaning of this card is wisdom and spiritual guidance. So that's what I like to take from this card. Less of the religious. I don't tend to go to a religious space. I tend to go more to the spiritual, the higher wisdom, your spirit team speaking to you when I look at cards. So the first deck I'm going to show you today, as always, the Cat Pierce, the Wandering Star deck. And her card looks like this. And written above, like with all of her cards, she writes the general sense of the card at the top, which is ritual, ceremony, tradition, structure, knowledge, wisdom, teacher. And he's giving to me, even though he looks religious, with his hands up, perhaps praying, or praying up to the heavens, he looks very guru teacher to me. And his crown is represented in that manner. Oh, and the keys right at his feet. He also has the flowers. The flowers are on the original card at the bottom. And those represent purity and love. So he definitely has the purity and love on his card. The next deck we're going to look at is the Dark Mansion Tarot, as always, by Tarot Tech. And his Hierophant looks like this. A little bit more traditional with the very high Pope-like crown that he's wearing. He's got his staff of the 3. He has his red. He has his followers down here and the pillars. So a lot of the same traditional meanings brought in here. And then he has the keys at the bottom. Very traditional deck. He has his hands up like the original card does. Okay, the next deck we're going to look at is the Curious Creatures by Chris Ann. My favorite deck. This is my favorite go-to deck. It just speaks to me. I love the Hierophant card. You'll see why. It's fun. It's very light deck. That's why I like to look at the different decks, because when I really got into card reading, you have to find the decks that speak to you, and maybe a more traditional, like if you're looking at the very traditional cards, maybe they don't speak to you. They don't speak to me. I don't tend to use the traditional deck when I'm doing readings. So here's what the Curious Creatures looks like. She has very little red on her. She's the guru, she's the teacher, so this is a heavy teacher card. And she's got a radio down here, which is almost like she's projecting her message, her guidance, her in this case, exercise wisdom. She has the flowers down here, just like the traditional, representing the purity and love. And also life force, if you're looking at the red color, which I love to look at the colors. I think you might know that about me by now. She has the keys around her neck, which I love that too. And she's showing you perhaps a healthier way of life. Perhaps she's saying to the sitter, time to get up and move. That's your wisdom you need to take away. So you can, depending on your sitter's questions, you can look at this card differently. Okay, this is a new deck of mine. I do have the Oracle version of this deck, and I loved it so much that I bought the tarot. This is the Tarot of Mystical Moments by Catherine Welts-Stein. And her card looks like this. I love that. There's a little bit of a glare on there, so hopefully you can see it. And the owl, which a lot of times owls are the wisdom, and he's got a book in his hand, and she's paying attention to the wisdom that's being given to her from the owl. He doesn't seem like he's preaching to her. Like this guy can get very preachy, but it seems like he's flowing down his wisdom to others. And she's young, so it's like the other generations it's going to. And then she's in a tree. This is the tree of life, the tree of wisdom, growth. That's a very lovely card. I love that. And that one's new for me, this deck. Next, we're going to look at the Wild Unknown Tarot. That's this deck. This is by Kim Krantz. I believe I showed you one of these cards before. And this is I wanted to show you this one because it was just very interesting. And this one has the blackbird. And blackbirds or ravens represent intelligence, knowledge, and also prophecy. And has the key very strongly. It seems like he's perched on the key. He could be flying, probably not because his wings are closed, but definitely carrying the key with him. And then the lightning bolt here. The lightning bolts are seen as a symbol of power and divine intervention. But also what I pick up with this card is strike while the iron's hot, because of this literal lightning strike. And then lastly today, I just wanted to pull in quick. I usually try not to do an extra card, but this is the Housewives Tarot, and it's just a really fun deck. It's from the 1950s. I do love a lot of things about the 1950s dresses, a lot of cookware. Even though I'm not a cook, I love Pyrex and that type of thing. So I think that's what drew me to this deck. And it's just a fun deck the way it comes through. But this is like old TV set. So from the 1950s, how people would have gotten all their information is from the TV or the radio before that. So I love that they used as the Hierophant, as the messenger of all things, as the divine message from the heavens, that they put the TV set in there. So it's just a cute card I wanted to show you. Okay, that's our card, our look at the Hierophant for this week. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think of the Hierophant. If you like him, if you don't like him, if there are other decks where you have found it has humor to it and lightens it up a bit, I think is a very powerful message when you get it in a card reading. I think it's a lot of times a very nice message when it comes through, and let me know what you think. Write in the comments and follow along for the next week's video where we take a look at the Lover's card. Thanks for watching. Check me out in the next video.